Welcome to She Trusts Herself, the podcast for women who are learning to trust themselves, honor their inner voice, and choose themselves without guilt. I'm your host, Tash Leem, author, guest speaker, and certified human design reader. Together, we'll explore overcoming self-doubt, building deep self-trust, personal growth, and stepping into the next version of yourself with confidence. Welcome back to another episode. Today, I want to talk about productivity minus the pressure, and this is for all of the high achievers out there. The ones that measure their day by what they got done, who feel frustrated when the plan doesn't go their way, and for the ones that have days off, start questioning whether they've done enough. And honestly, I definitely am one of those people, and it's taken me a lot of work to reshape the way that I define productivity and how much value I place on my worth. For a lot of years, it was intertwined together, and I thought the more productive I am, the more valuable I am to others, whether it's in personal relationships, family dynamics, or at work. It's taken becoming a mum to realize if I just focus on good is good enough. And there are some productivity hacks that I'm going to share in this episode that have really helped me, and I hope that they'll help you as well. This isn't about telling you that you can't be productive or you need to stop everything that you're doing. This is for the days where life doesn't go according to your plan, and rather than beating yourself up about it, it's about practicing self-compassion and reframing the way that you think about it, and also your approach to that day too, because there are some things that you can still do to tick things off and make your mind realize, okay, I have done a lot. It may not be the things that I planned on doing, but I've still been productive, and that's okay, and that's enough. There will be times in your life where you're not capable of the same amount of productivity that you're used to, and if you spend those days feeling guilt and shame around it, rather than just accepting that you're doing your best with what you have in those circumstances, then it's also disconnecting you from yourself, where we're wanting to rebuild and repair that relationship, and know that one off day doesn't mean you're not valuable, because that's the furthest thing from the truth. You're valuable, period. So I want to start with something simple, and that is errand batching. This has been an absolute game changer for me, because I used to do things sporadically. My mind was in 5,000 different places throughout the day, and by the end of it I felt exhausted, and it was because I was jumping from task to task. Whereas errand batching gives you an opportunity to put everything that's similar together and just get it all done in one go. The benefit of that is you're doing more things at the same time, so you're already in that frame of mind and in the zone, ready to do those kind of tasks. Also means that instead of doing one thing, you may have got 3 things done in that same amount of time, because you're just in that zone and focused. When your capacity is lower, the goal isn't to scatter your energy, it's to try and protect it. So when you're grouping the errands into that focused block and being organized with your approach to them, then you're not constantly starting and stopping. You're not doing 1% of one task and then doing 10% of another and going back and forth, because that is really tiring. I know for many of us, we believe that we can multitask, and I think there's definitely a time and place for multitasking, but it comes at the cost of draining your brain power a lot faster. Whereas if you errand batch, then you're protecting your energy and you can do a lot more with less time. Now I want to move on to your to-do list. High achievers and just anyone in general can fall into a certain trap, and that is your to-do list becomes a measure of your self-worth instead of a tool. You look at it some days, whether it's at work or maybe on a day off, and you've got 20 things on there. And it gets to the end of the day and you go, I've done 3 things. I still have 17 left. And rather than celebrating those 3 things and focusing on the positive, because our brains are hardwired to have a negative bias, you straight away go, okay, but I haven't done 17 things. I've done nothing today. You don't necessarily take into account the other ways that you got pulled and where you spent your time that day, because you just look at your list and go, I haven't done anything. Especially with work, there are times, depending on your role, where you may end up having to do other things, especially if you're working in a reactive environment. You may have a plan and an idea of what you want to achieve that day, but sometimes other things come in and you have to reprioritize and reorganize your day.
And if you haven't added those to your list, then you're going to look at that original list for the day and go, I've done nothing. So it's just about considering how you use a to-do list. Again, whether you use it or it uses you, in the sense that that's what you measure your worth on. What we want to focus on reframing is your perspective and your approach to it, because it's meant to work for you to help you get things out of your mind and onto paper or into your digital to-do list. So you're not constantly thinking, oh yes, I've got to remember to do that. You can go, okay, cool. Yep, I remember that I need to do that. I'm going to write that down, and I trust myself that I will get it done. And if there's a due date that needs to be done by, then of course you can add all of that in. Or sometimes it'll just be ad hoc things where you just add it to the list and you go, I'll get to it when I can. One of the things that we want to focus on with to-do lists is reframing and making the list manageable. If it feels like it's overwhelming, endless, or unrealistic, then it's not actually going to motivate you. It's going to derail you, because it's just a reminder that's staring you in the face to go, I'm not doing enough, which isn't the case. It's just the list isn't realistic for the time that you've given yourself. This is something I have been very guilty of in the past. I used to have a to-do list for weekends, say, and I'd have between 10 to 15 things on there. And I simultaneously wanted to try and be spontaneous, and things would take longer than what I had anticipated a lot of the time. And so I wouldn't get through that list, and I'd look at it at the end of the day and go, okay, well, I've done nothing today. My husband, thankfully, would call me out on that and be like, babe, you've done plenty today. Just because you haven't done everything on your list doesn't mean you haven't done anything. So you need to be a bit kinder to yourself. It's taken me a lot of years to detach from that feeling of my self-worth is directly connected to how productive I am as a human. That may be the case for you if you're a high achiever. With our to-do list, we just want to make sure that we're using it in a way that makes sense for us. And maybe it's having a master list and also having a daily to-do list as well. Or you could even reframe it and go one step further, and rather than call it a to-do list, you could go, this is my get to-do list, because it just helps you bring a different energy and mindset to it, rather than feeling like an obligation and something that you have to do that day. It's about, okay, I get to do these things today, and it makes it feel like a choice. That can also help take the pressure off it, because you go, this is how I'm going to be spending my time today, rather than, oh, I can't do the things that I want to do because I have to do these things instead. It's helpful to then start looking at how you can break your list down into daily priorities and tasks that you want to complete. On a good day, maybe you can get through 10 things. But if it's a day that has not gone the way that you have anticipated, maybe you forgot you had an event on, or just something pressing has come up and you've had to completely switch gears, and the plan that you had is thrown out the window and you're rolling with something else, then if you still expect yourself to perform as you would on any other day, then that expectation becomes unrealistic and it becomes stressful, and you're setting yourself up to fail, essentially. There's no real sugarcoating about that, because you're wanting yourself to do the same things that you would normally do, but you just don't have the time, capacity, or ability. So it's about looking at your day and creating a list that complements your day, what you've got going on. It's about going, what are my top 3 priorities? Or some days it may even be, what's my one priority that I really want to get done today, depending on how much you've got going on. When you can do that, then you'll look at your list and go, okay, I've got everything done that I wanted to today. And you start believing in yourself a little bit more and rebuilding that self-trust, because you know, if I put this on the list, I can get that done. Productivity isn't based on how much you're doing. It's about what you choose to focus on and what you can achieve. So it's just being realistic, and it helps you rebuild momentum, because you're not eroding your confidence by overloading your plate and then feeling like you're not doing enough, because that's not the case. Sometimes we have unrealistic expectations of ourselves, and it's not because we aren't capable or don't have the ability. It's just sometimes we don't have the capacity, and life happens and plans go out the window. And if we're really rigid and set in our ways, then we're just setting ourselves up for failure. That brings us nicely to the good old mental load. Each of us has our own mental load, and There are times in life where the mental load will be higher, and there'll be times where it feels more manageable. So it's about being aware of where your mental load is at, whether it's high to the point of it's too much or if it's at a manageable level. Where possible, of course, we want to try and maintain that optimal operating capacity, so to speak, to make sure that our mental load is at a manageable level. But there will be times in life where it's going to be higher, whether it's during your status quo time or on the days where it is quite high and can feel overwhelming, is thinking about what you've got going on. If we look at our brain as our central processing unit, similar to a computer, then there'll be systems in there, or thoughts in this instance, that make it run a lot slower. It drains you and things start to freeze and not work at the optimal level. If you have a lot of tasks that are just sitting in the back of your mind, niggling at you, where you're going, I've got like 10 things to do and I'm not sure how I'm going to get them done, then we need to think of a way to ease that mental load. Sometimes it's the small tasks that just add up, because you may have one big task and break that down into bite-sized pieces and make that more manageable. Other times it's like, I've got like 20 different things to do and I don't know how I'm going to find the time. And that could be things like the email that you haven't replied to. Maybe you haven't got back to a client yet. It's the appointment that you haven't booked, even though it's been on off your mind for the past 6 months. They are quick tasks to get done. But collectively, when you've got 10 to 20 of those 2-second tasks together, one, it starts to feel overwhelming, because you go, which one do I need to focus on first? The small tasks just keep building up and up and up to an unmanageable and overwhelming amount. And is thinking, if something is quick for me to do, it's on my mind right now, and you have capacity in the moment, just try and do it. This is really good if you have a task that will take less than 5 minutes and you look at it and go, what have I got going on right now? And if you don't have anything immediate that you need to do, then you can go, I'm just going to allocate these next few minutes to getting this thing done. And just watch how your mental load starts to ease. It really just depends on your capacity and how much time that you can allocate to it. But once you start to tick those things off, then it just frees up that brain space, which is what we're all about. And it also gives you a quick dopamine boost, because you're reaffirming to yourself, yes, I can get things done. Those quick wins are really good for boosting our self-trust and reinstilling that confidence in us of, yes, we are capable of doing things, which we do innately know, but sometimes we forget, especially as high achievers, because we've got very high standards and expectations for ourselves. With those small tasks too, we often spend a lot of time focusing on them and reminding ourselves, because we keep forgetting, because they're not massive tasks in the grand scheme of things. So we go, oh yes, we'll get to that when we get to it. And so we may spend 2 hours thinking about something, whereas it will take us 2 minutes to do. So it's just about going, okay, well, I'd rather spend 2 minutes doing it right now and getting it done, versus spend 2 hours over the next couple of weeks thinking about it. It can be really helpful when you approach it in that way. I just want to remind you that your level of productivity is going to fluctuate, and that's not a reflection of your worth or you at all. It's life. It's ever changing. It's the same with our energy levels. They're constantly in ebbs and flows. Being realistic with what you can achieve, and also practicing some self-compassion and just being aware of those days where you may have limited capacity, and thinking, okay, well, if I still want to feel productive, or I do have things that I need to do, what's the most efficient and effective way that I can achieve those without feeling like I'm letting myself down or haven't done enough. My hope is that these productivity hacks will reinvigorate you and give you some ideas to try out if you haven't already. Sometimes we just need a reminder about simplifying your to-do list, focusing on what matters, and just clearing the small things that are weighing on you.
And that's a wrap on another episode. If this one resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future conversations, and share it with someone else who's learning to trust herself again. You can connect with me on Instagram, Tash, where I share more about self-trust, personal growth, and human design. If you'd like to go deeper, you can explore my books and offerings, all designed to support you as you build self-trust and step into the next version of yourself with confidence. Until next time, please remember that you're not too much or too little. You're just you. Keep choosing yourself.